I will showcase what's the testing level about, as long as you come here with a battery attached. That's the important part. You come and set 3000 actors, spawn it. So we are spawning 3000 battery actors, and we confirm that in the output log. We won't be able to see that during a package shipping build. Here we have 3000 battery actors, and the first iteration loop is not actually gonna be comparing location. We run on compute, and the first iteration has only assigned new ID, okay? So right now we have to exit the game, press play again, go back to that level. Data is now in the indoor map because there was no special map created, so we just return default value and that's where they are stored. Let's first spawn again 3000 actors in the very same location like last time. We have again 3000 actors here, exactly in the same location as before, but now we are gonna assign old ID. So that means we are gonna now loop through 3000 entries and measure how long it's going to take. So I'm gonna clear this log and I press compute, and you see it ran through 3000 actors and assigned a new ID in this total time. So right now I'm in the package shipping build and I want to test the performance of the code. So this will be running on the AMD Ryzen 9, and I will spawn 10,000 battery actors. So there was a lag during the spawning. So there I can see thousands of battery actors, and I will assign new ID. So new ID was assigned in this time on AMD Ryzen 9. And I believe if I go again and press compute, so I have total computing, this should now do matched ID. I will try to exit. So I have restarted the shipping build application. I will go back, spawn those actors in the same place, and let's see if we get a similar number. So again, the lag is over, actors are spawned, and now hopefully this should compute it. Exit, just in case, run it again. So very decent time, that's 0.2 seconds. I don't know if this is the correct way how to measure such performance, so please comment if you think this is a total nonsense. Please educate me if you know how to do this better. Final topic to discuss is which classes I recommend leaving in the plugin and which stuff you should move to your main project and merge it, the code. For example, this blueprint function library, you don't really have to bother to move it, but it would be beneficial so you avoid multiple copies of the same function. So I would highly recommend moving this, merging into one blueprint function library. Of course, character There is no real place in a plugin that's just for me to be able to distribute it to you. But once you really have your own project that you are serious about, you are surely gonna have your own character. So just copy paste the lines, and most likely everything that is in the blueprint you are gonna have to redo. Custom log, there is really no reason to keep it separate in the plugin. I would move it to the main project. This data, I would leave it here because it's gonna be a lot of pain in the butt changing the includes, and I am not a big fan of having thousands of structs in one file. I mean, there are guys who really like that. I would leave it here personally. Rest of it, again, MAS FP anim, that's another class that corresponds to the character, so you would move it to your main project. Of course, GameStat, you would move it. Same with the game instance, you would create just one game instance and everything there. MAS gun can stay in the plugin. MAS HUD widget, of course, that's gonna go to your project. You have to merge the code. Image button, yeah, it would benefit. You are most likely gonna have one image button with all the functionality. There is no real benefit of multiplying it per every plugin that needs to use similar logic. Inventory widget, this is really a simple example here. There are highlights in the code with a green comments where you need to branch your own stuff and how to connect it, but it's beyond the scope of this project. Again, item buttons, I would move it to my project. Mineral will stay, mineral data stays. MAS overlap, that stays, that's very particular for this project. Of course, custom player controller class, move that code. MAS save game, I would leave it as it is because you can have more save games and I don't see a real benefit of cramping everything into one. I think it's much easier to kind of separate this. Again, screen anim can stay, screen widget can stay. Selection button, that I would move to a project. And spawn actors widget, you won't use this most likely. Once you are done with your testing, you are gonna remove it. You are never gonna move this to a final project that you will be distributing for the players. Again, text button, I would move it to a main project, and MAS widget can stay. So I hope you are gonna have a very good time with this plugin and it will save you tons of work and weeks and months.